Welcome back to the next 100. It's me, Molly, and I owe you an apology because I promised to be super consistent with this show, and I am a day late, maybe even two. Who knows at this point? It's Harry Carey over here, but I'm here. I'm showing up, and I got a reason why I'm late, and it's because my best friend is visiting, but that's still a bullshit excuse. So without any further hesitation, let's jump right on in to today's podcast. So you're going to think that I work for Shure after the next two episodes, and I swear that I don't. However, I have been a huge fan of Shure. They have definitely hooked me up with some equipment. Laura Davidson is super amazing from Shure. I can't say enough good things about them, but I swear to God, I don't work for them, and they don't pay me. So just FYI. But the next two podcast episodes, I'm going to devote strictly to the quality of your sound. And so we're going to talk about two different pieces of equipment. And so today's episode is going to be all about the Shure MV7. So, I get really worked up when I talk about people not having microphones. So I'm trying to be as zen as possible and just be like, it's cool, man. It's cool. But the thing is, it's not cool. It's not cool. If you work for a company and you're just showing up for meetings and stuff, I get it. You don't want to buy a microphone, but you're probably not listening to this podcast. If you are going on other people's podcasts, if you're in sales even in any way, shape, or form, you should absolutely have a microphone. And the reason why is your voice just sounds better. Ask Anthony. If you've worked with the company at all, you know how great Anthony sounds when you get on those meetings with him. Everyone comments. I think I need to put my mic higher up in the shot so people can see my microphone because he always gets all of the compliments. But the Shure MV7 is such a great microphone. It's almost foolproof. You plug it into the side of your computer. You can download an app to dial in the settings. It works super well, even if your mic control isn't great. And so let's talk about mic control first and foremost. So the biggest thing that I see is nobody knows how to use their microphone. And I blame stock photos for this because when you search stock photos for podcasting or microphone, there is no shortage of images that show people using their microphones the wrong way. Literally talking into the wrong side of it, talking into the end that has a metal band around it, talking into the side of it. So all the, you see it all. I saw on LinkedIn a lady had her microphone literally behind her head like it was a decoration. And so I just really want you guys to think about, how you have seen microphones being used in the past. And maybe you've watched too much Johnny Carson or David Letterman or I don't know who the new guys are. I'm aging myself with that one. But yes, there was a microphone on the desk far away, but that was just a prop, people. That was not actually the microphone that those people use. They're using lapel mics. You can't use a microphone from a foot away. Now, if you guys have ever watched the show Billions, you ever watch that show? I love that show for so many reasons. But the thing that caught my ear, if you will, first and foremost, was the sound. If you have a chance, turn that show on and really listen to the sound. It is impeccable. But if you understood the level of miking that goes on to capture that kind of sound, you would be bewildered. So maybe you're thinking, the boom arms are super far away from people. It catches their sound. Listen, boom arms in Hollywood also have lapel mics and there's so many microphones that you don't even see in those shots. So that's not how microphones work. So I'll give you another example. You ever been in an event like a panel discussion and there's a Q&A and somebody in the back, stands up and they get the microphone and they hold it away and they go, yeah, I'd like to know about that. And everybody goes, put the microphone closer to your face, right? Your podcast microphone, your microphone on your desk is the same thing, homie. It ain't working from 3 feet away. You need to pull it closer to your face. It needs to be really close to your face. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is not buy one of those pop filters. If you have a foam cover, here's another gem. If you have a foam cover on your microphone, you do not need a pop filter. Okay, this is your pop filter. It functions the same as one of those big round things that has a screen in it that covers your face. It's called a pop filter. Those things are the biggest trick that consumerism ever played on anybody. They're filling up landfills across the world, those things. I hate them, right? The only time that those are relevant if you're using a microphone that doesn't have those, like a foam cover on it. But even like the more high-end microphones are going to have like built-in stuff and a foam cover under the metal that you might not see. So honestly, don't get a pop filter. That's the first thing. That's number two. Number one, keep the microphone really close to your face. The way that you can do that is with a boom arm like this. That's a really great way to get it done. I'll take my earbuds off so you can see it a little bit better. Super functional. You can bring it right to your face, hands-free. I can still talk. I can still make crazy hand gestures, right? I'm free to move about the cabin, but I'm keeping the microphone really close to my face, okay? And if I move the microphone, so a lot of times people think that their microphone is working because you can hear their voice, but that's not how sound works. So, for example, if I was to move away from this microphone, right, and I keep talking, sure, you can still hear me, but you're actually hearing the sound of my voice bouncing off the walls and like generally every once in a while passing in front of this microphone. So yeah, you can hear me. Does it sound good? Does it sound any better if I wasn't using a microphone at all? Probably not. Now, when I get closer to the microphone, does that sound better? Does that make you want to listen to me a little bit more, right? So, and the real pros, they have excellent mic control and there's no plosives and they're right up on this thing, sounding like the voice of God, right? I don't even know what that means, honestly. But you really want to keep the microphone closer to your face. The second thing is get a boom arm, get the thing off your desk. And the third thing is get some earbuds so that when you're in an interview, the other person's sound isn't coming through your speakers and bleeding into your microphone. That's why you need to wear earbuds, people. Very simple earbuds. No mic. That's just a little volume knob. No mic. Just simple earbuds. Low pro. Can't even see them. Gang, gang. All right? That's your setup. Now, lots of mics you can buy. You can buy the Yeti. Please, for the love of God, do not buy the Yeti microphone. And I'm going to do a quick and dirty tutorial on why that is. So people get all up in arms when I talk shit about the Yeti, but I don't care because it's not a good microphone. Actually, I correct myself. It is a great microphone if you are in a treated space. So the Yeti microphone is a condenser microphone. So its pickup pattern is circular. And yes, there's an adjustment that you can use front and back and all this. But the problem is 99% of you don't understand what the front and the back of the actual microphone is. And most of you talk into the top of it anyway, which is completely pointless. There's nothing there. But the Yeti is going to pick up all these noises around you, your neighbors, leaf blower, whatever, the lawnmower. It's going to pick up all these noises. Where a dynamic microphone has a very specific pickup pattern. So this microphone, for example, its pickup area is at the very end of this microphone, right here, just this little tip, right? So people that have this microphone and talk into the side of it, yeah, you're still getting good sound, but not great, because what this has is excellent rejection, right? Like me on Tinder, right? It's got excellent rejection. What does that mean? It means that when you are not talking into where the pickup pattern is, it's naturally going to lower your voice. So you hear the sound, the quality of the sound of my voice as I'm moving around talking into the side of it. You see, you can still hear me, but is it as good as when I'm right here, right? So using your microphone the right way is super important. The Shure MV7 takes all of that out because of the pickup pattern is right here. It's not a condenser microphone. It's XLR and USB. So that means you can plug it right into your computer and it'll work, and you don't need an audio interface to make the thing work. All In from Podcast Outfitters. Huge shout out to them. Small business in Maryland that's been there for 60 years. They used to be on H Street in Northeast DC, and their store got burned down in the riots of 1968, and they reopened in Maryland, and they've been there ever since. And if you grew up in DC or Maryland or Virginia and you ever, hey, what's up, Lily? If you ever played my dog just walked in the room for the audio audience, but if you played an instrument and you grew up in DC, Maryland, Virginia, you probably bought that instrument from Chuck Levin's Music Center, and they are the parent company of Podcast Outfitters. Great service, small company, great shipping, and they have tech support. You can call them up if you have any questions. Amazon ain't gonna give you that, I promise that. So shout out to Podcast Outfitters, but they got a bundle on there for $350. You can get all these things delivered to you, all in. And if you put TPC 10, you'll get 10% off your order because of me. Just don't tell them I sent you. But Here's the deal. It's a great microphone. And why am I advocating for this? There's tons of, you could also get the SM7B, but you're going to need an audio interface and you're going to need a cloud lifter. And if you're not technical, that's not really it. The SM7B is like the mic Joe Rogan uses. This is basically the same technology, just made easier to use. It's slightly less capabilities, but it's USB and XLR. So for the people who are curious about that, what that means is you can plug it into your computer or you can plug it into an audio interface. So if you buy this computer, you could be at home or anywhere with your laptop and you could record things. But if you were to be in a podcast studio or do a podcast with more than one person, you could plug this into the audio interface with a traditional XLR cord and it would work that way as well. So it's a really super functional dual purpose microphone. Can't say enough good things about it. Highly recommend. And it really does make a difference because, I've mentioned this before, but if you're looking to go on other people's podcasts or you're doing any sort of speaking engagements or presentations or any stuff like that, like you best believe they're checking your setup. That's why most people have you like record a video and show like your setup and your sound and all that. People are spending a ton of money to produce their podcasts, and they're not going to pick you, or these events, and they're not going to pick you if you sound like you're broadcasting from a tuna can. So it's really important that you have good sound and you're putting effort into it. And the Shure MV7 makes that super easy. There are other mics, the RE20. There's so many other mics on the market. And yeah, you could go to Amazon and buy a cheap microphone, but you're just going to end up replacing it because it's going to suck and it's probably not going to work because it's like cheap parts. And those things are designed literally to fail. So, and the Yeti's not cheap either, people. Oh, man, you guys are experiencing a real Costa Rica rainstorm. It just came in out of nowhere. So I'm going to make the rest of this show short and sweet because I feel like I've made my point here. But I hope you all get to shelter soon and go out and get you a Shure MV7. It's the best microphone on the market. Can't say enough good things. I'll put the link to the Podcast Outfitters bundle in the description below. And hit me up, man. Send me a message. Let me know how you like the microphone. Yeah, man. If you're gonna go on people's podcasts, you gotta have a mic. If you have your own podcast, you absolutely have to have a mic. If you do any sort of presentations whatsoever, gotta have a mic. And if you do sales, you gotta have a mic. So on that note, go get a microphone. Hit me up. Let me know that you got the Shure MV7 and send me a little clip and send me how good you sound. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in to the Next 100, sponsored by Heartcast Media. We are a digital media creative agency focusing on branding, marketing, strategy, and amplification. From personal branding to podcasting, we've got you covered. And to continue this conversation, join me on Instagram. My personal account is Molly D. Ruland, and of course, you can also find us at Heartcast Media. That's where the really good stuff is going down. So join me there. Let's continue the conversation. And until next week, have a good one.
Produced by Heartcast Media.